The Dallas Cowboys have made multiple moves ahead of their Monday night matchup versus the Las Vegas Raiders, and we've got some major updates on a returning Cowboy to the defense, along with a returning running back as well. We talk about it all right here today on Cowboys Digest. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Jace Andrews. I appreciate you hanging out with us and tuning in to today's show. If you're looking for coverage of the Dallas Cowboys throughout the entirety of the 2025 season, make sure you hit that subscribe button, especially when moves like this happen. We drop a video, we don't want you to miss any single thing the Cowboys do. We know tonight the Dallas Cowboys would take on the Las Vegas Raiders in what I would consider a must-win game, considering at this very point the Cowboys have a 4% chance to make the playoffs. However, they were very active over their bye week with the trade deadline adding Quinn Williams and, of course, getting Logan Wilson, not to mention the additions of DeMarvion Overshown and Javonte Jr. back to this squad. Now, when we talked about those four additions to the defense, we mentioned that there could possibly be a fifth addition. There were a couple guys who were trying to return from IR, and listen, let's be downright honest. This defense could use about every single solution of help they could possibly get, because it has been quite literally the worst defense, or the second worst defense in the entire NFL. Well, guess what? Not only are they going to get DeMarvion Overshown back, not only are they going to get Javonte Jr. to make his NFL debut with the additions of Quinn Williams and, of course, Logan Wilson, but on top of it all, Malik Hooker. He's back. The Cowboys have activated safety Malik Hooker off injured reserve and placed rookie offensive lineman Johnny Cornelius on injured reserve. Along with this, running back Malik Davis was elevated from the practice squad. We mentioned in prior videos how Malik Hooker could be activated for this game, but there was not exactly a full solution to whether or not that was going to be true. He had opened up his practice window. The hope is that maybe, just maybe, he could come in here. And even on the injury report on Saturday, we look at Malik Hooker. He was a full participant after being limited for 2 straight days. He had the questionable game status, and now we officially have him off the IR, on the roster, and effectively active tonight for the Dallas Cowboys. Couple of things to note as well. Perion Winfrey, questionable. No full solution on that just as well. Obviously, Johnny Cornelius, who was limited in 3 practices, he is now officially on injured reserve and will be out for the next 4 weeks at the least. And then for Elijah Clark, I really did think with his injury to the ribs and also his illness, him not practicing on Friday was a tough thing. He was limited on Saturday, got the questionable kind of tag. With Malik Hooker being active, I think he will probably not play tonight. And then Solomon Thomas, who is out, did not practice at all this week. What are the implications moving forward? Well, we talk about the addition of Malik Hooker. Now, he was only active for 4 games this season with Philadelphia, New York, Chicago, and Green Bay. He had 20 total tackles, 9 of which came in the first game of the season. 1.5 stuffs, nothing really to work about there. He was a relatively highly ranked safety, especially when you look at the other safeties for the Dallas Cowboys. His PFF rank of 60 doesn't seem that high. It ranks him 54th out of 91 safeties. However, you wouldn't be shocked, or maybe you would be, to say that this is the highest ranked safety the Dallas Cowboys have, because if we look at their roster here, we can talk about Donovan Wilson, who has not been good this season. He is also back and active after returning to the practice field due to some lingering injuries. So you'll have your technical 2 starting safeties from the beginning of the season back and officially playing tonight. Marquise Bell, he was a serviceable fill-in. I have very low points for Donovan Wilson in general, so Marquise Bell had nothing to go with. And then Elijah Clark, he was the UDFA out of Syracuse. There was some questions whether or not he would make that 53-man roster. Him and Justin Barron, a linebacker out of Syracuse, both UDFAs that were at one point in time scheduled to make the 53-man roster, at least be on the practice squad. Ultimately, that's not how it works out. Elijah Clark does get moved up. He gets injured in the Denver game, and now with him being limited and having an illness and having Malik Hooker back, he might still be available, but I think it would be a very tough situation if they had to add him. I think that's where it'd be a must-need situation. But I mean, you look at this defense now, and with the addition of Malik Hooker, you feel real confident about all this. Having Jadeveon Clowney and Donovan Ezaraku, who have been both great on the edges. Kenny Clark and Quillen Williams inside on your interior defensive line. DeMarvion Overshown's back. You add Logan Wilson, Kalen Carson in that cornerback slot alongside Trevon Revel Jr. You get your 2 starting safeties, although I don't trust Adam Wilson. He is your starter. And Malik Hooker. Deron Bland, who got really cooked in the Cowboys game against the Cardinals, hopefully can have a better game tonight. Not like he's going to be facing anybody. Trey Jones or Trey, whatever that guy. Trey on the Raiders. I can't even name half their team, to be honest. And Kyer Elam. Listen, I'm not too concerned about tonight. However, it is a must-win because if you lose this game, you become 3-6, and the playoffs are basically out of the picture at that point. So it's a game you should win. It's a game you must win, and you made the moves to do so. You've got 5 new starters on this roster. Do want to quickly talk about Johnny Cornelius, the interior offensive lineman at Oregon. He was your 6th-round pick this season, one of them. He hadn't really appeared in the game, had some injury concerns. Probably going to be the end of his season, if you had to ask me. Very good offensive lineman out of Oregon, don't get me wrong. I do think he had some more development he needed to do, and this kind of proves that point where we can kind of wait and develop a little more over the offseason, spend an entire offseason with the Cowboys, and we'll see what kind of happens there. But given the 4-game suspension, but the 4-game IR stint, at least, I have to think that we'll probably not see him, especially with how good this offensive line has really been. Also, going back to this first report here, I want to talk about Malik Davis real quick, as well as he was elevated from the practice squad to the active roster tonight. I don't want to say it, but I do think this probably means Jaden Blue is going to be a healthy scratch, or at least not get a lot of reps, because in the 3 games that Malik Davis has been active in, he's basically taken the spot of Jaden Blue, although he has only ran the ball 3 times for 6 yards. Hunter Lipke has been in there. We know that in a lot of aspects, Malik Davis is just kind of a plug and a hole, and Javonte's been that bell cow back, been the guy that they've relied on and trusted. I don't want to sit here and say that it's 100% confirmed that Jaden Blue is not going to do anything tonight, but given they continuously literally get Malik Davis, add him to the roster so they can play him, then immediately cut him, get him back on the practice squad, and within that game that they he was on the roster for the Cardinals game. They cut him, they re-signed him on the practice squad, and they elevated him for this game. That doesn't tell you what they feel about Jaden Blue right now. I don't know what does. He's a rookie running back. A lot of times rookie running backs don't get to be played, especially when you have I'm not going to say a surprise, but a running back in Javonte Williams that you were getting more than what you expected from. Malik Davis is good. I wish they would give Jaden Blue more carries. I understand that this is not exactly what the Cowboys were looking for, but I still think he should get more reps. But the real statement is the defense. You're going to have a really, really good defense once again. Donovan Ezaraku going to be your edge rusher. You're going to have the interior defensive lineman issues of, do you play Osa Odighizuwa, Kenny Clark, Quinn Williams? You can rotate all 3 of them. Probably is going to be the main mixture there. You'll have Jadeveon Clowney on the other edge. Logan Wilson, DeMarvion Overshown, your linebackers. Deron Bland and Trevon Revel will be your quarterbacks. And then at your safety position, Wanya Thomas is acting on the IR, so Malik Hooker will be up here with Donovan Wilson. You'll have Marquise Bell as the backup. And then I'm not 100% sure that Elijah Clark will not play this game, but given the addition of Malik Hooker, I have to feel like he is going to be a in case of emergency type player to this game. So we'll have to wait and see. But we'll be live for tonight's game, so make sure you stick around and hang out with us here on Cowboys Digest. We'll have the scoreboard, have the game, have everything you need to know all about it right here. So, come back, hang out with us tonight. But for now, we appreciate you. We hope you have a great night, and we'll see you next time here on Cowboys Digest. Peace out, guys.